Next, we have the appointments of the members to the DuPont Planning Commission. We have 3 people who have been nominated. Jonathan Burnett, Lawrence Genova, and Jeff Foe as the alternate. Are any of those gentlemen here? Go ahead and please stand up. Thank you. The chair of the Planning Commission has some comments that he wanted to provide to us, so please come forward, sir.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. My name is Corey Wright. I think 2967 Highland Street, and I'm glad to be here this evening. As you mentioned, I'm currently the chair of the Planning Commission, and on behalf of the entire Planning Commission, I'm pleased to support the 3 well-qualified candidates for your consideration and confirmation to the Planning Commission. With more applicants than open positions, the interview process was competitive. In addition to the relevant skills, each candidate expressed a genuine interest and commitment for our community, and were eager to volunteer their time and energy. The quality and depth of candidates was remarkable, and it made it difficult to recommend only 3. But after thoughtful deliberation, I'm pleased to recommend Lawrence Genova, John Burnett, and Jeff Foe. Each commissioner will bring their own strengths, an open mind, and a unique perspective that should work well with the current Planning Commission members. I would like to thank all the applicants who applied and express sincere gratitude for all those willing to volunteer their time to serve our community. Since I do have your ear, I would also like to publicly extend thanks to Councilmember Coffey and Ballard, who served as our liaisons in 2019. Thank you very much for your time and your support during our meetings. I'd also be remiss if I didn't thank Director Wilson and Janet Holan for their continuous efforts and the rest of the staff in supporting the Planning Commission. So moving forward, the Planning Commission is ready to roll up our sleeves and get to work on the issues that you point us to. So I would also like to encourage any citizens as well who are interested in the work that the Planning Commission is doing, please attend our meetings. We would love to have some company or review our meeting minutes online. So with that, I'm glad to answer any questions that you may have. If not, thank you very much for your time tonight.
Any questions for Mr. Wright? Thank you, sir. At this time, we have 3 nominees, and we can either have a motion for all 3 or individually, whatever the council wants to do this.
I would move to confirm Mr. Burnett, Mr. Genova, and Mr. Foe.
Do we have a second? Sorry?
Well, I would like to have a vote on each separate planning commission member.
Understand? We have a motion already.
I would like to withdraw my motion.
Okay. And we have another motion?
And a second.
Okay, we've had a motion to consider them individually, and we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we need a motion for Jonathan Burnett.
I make a motion for Jonathan Burnett.
And we'll get a second from Mr. Dorsey.
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay. Point of order, I think we need to slow down for the clerk and for the staff. We need to make sure we do this in parliamentary procedure.
Was the second Councilmember Persky?
Yes. Need a motion for Mr. Genova?
I move to confirm Mr. Genova.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Excuse me, you had a motion and a second? Did you?
No second. We have a motion.
No, I'm talking about for the first individual.
Yes.
Was there a vote?
Yes, we had a vote. We had a motion and a second and a vote.
The clerk did not take the roll.
So,
Penny made the motion. Mr. Gorski, second.
Yes, 6-1.
Yeah, 6-1.
Clerk, may I request that we go ahead and just take the roll?
Deputy Mayor Coffey? Which one are we on?
This is for Burnett.
Aye, for Burnett. Councilmember Gasak? Nay. Councilmember Barnes?
Aye.
Councilmember Gruba?
Aye.
Councilmember Ballard?
Aye.
Councilmember Harris?
Aye.
And Councilmember Gorski?
Aye.
So it's 6-1 for Mr. Burnett. To
Correct.
confirm him.
Okay, we have a motion on the table for Mr. Genova. Is there a second? Okay, failing that, we'll move to Mr. Foe. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion, Mr. Mayor.
Ruben, and we have a second from Mr. Gorski. All in favor of Mr. Foe?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that passes. Now is the first opportunity for public comments. You'll state your name and your address and keep your comments to 3 minutes, please.
David Bonner, 2702 MacArthur. Very interesting item number 4, the discussion during the approval of the agenda and how that the council needs to have a retreat and work together. I witnessed something tonight that everybody witnessed, and you need to have a retreat right here and realize that you work for us. We just witnessed the chairman of the Planning Commission recommend 3 people, and 6 of you would not even acknowledge one individual. So on item 18, council comments tonight, please, all 6 of you, give the citizens a reason why you would not nominate or vote for that individual. Thank you.
Chris Frank, 1812 Cadborough Lane. I've been to several council meetings, and I've heard the council say a number of times how we need citizen volunteers for these committees and how the citizens need to get involved. We had a citizen who wanted to get involved for a planning commission, and you guys wouldn't even second the motion. You complain that no citizens get involved. We have citizens who want to get involved, and you won't even second the motion. The council needs to explain to the citizens of this city why you wouldn't even consider a candidate for that position.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have our second period of public comments. Give your name and address, and you are limited to 3 minutes.
David Bonner, 2702 MacArthur. The next item is item 18, council comments. 6 of you, we would definitely like to know why you will not nominate a citizen to volunteer. During the department reports, Councilmember Coffey said there's lots of opportunity, plenty of opportunity for citizens to be involved, but you won't even let a citizen be involved. So please, the next agenda item, 18, council comments, 6 of you, please respond.
627 MacArthur Street. As other citizens have spoken earlier tonight, I have also attended numerous meetings over the course of the past few months, and I have seen citizens ask the council to respond to concerns that have been raised in the first portion of the meeting. And just like they said, council comments are going to be next, but yet they're never addressed. And I don't know if you're not allowed to address the concerns that are being brought to your attention at the time, but I've seen it go on for months where they're asking questions, council comments do not address them. My other concern is when I'm sitting here watching and listening to the citizens speak, when council members and other staff are smirking, it's extremely disheartening. It breaks down credibility. It's disrespectful and very non-professional. So I think we just need to take that consideration as we're sitting here watching and we're seeing the reactions of the members of the city council and associates, and that's not appropriate. And then just a quick question for the police. I know that there's been numerous accidents off the intersection of Jensen and McNeil. Have they done any studies to see how many, and maybe if we were to put up the no parking on that one sign? I'm just afraid because there's a bus stop where the kids sit on the sidewalk right there waiting for the bus. Is there a way to easily pull the numbers of how many accidents have happened at that intersection? Because my concern is with the most recent one, where a car hit a parked vehicle and shoved it up on the road, children could be impacted. So is there a way to pull numbers real quick and see how many accidents have happened over the course of the years and maybe make that one side of the street at no parking just for the safety? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Lawrence Genova, 2889 Howard Street. Just wanted to share a quick story. So during the last election, and while on Mayor Ron Frederick's campaign team, I actually got into it with one of the campaign members. We were arguing about some campaign stuff, and it got pretty heated. I remember we were yelling over the phone. I probably dropped a couple of F-bombs, and eventually we hung up on each other. But yet we respected each other and what we brought to the table. So we were able to set aside our differences in service to the campaign. More importantly, we were able to put our city and our community first. And that's one of the things I learned while I was in the Air Force: service before self. Mission comes first, and that's what we did. So excuse me, I just wrote this stuff down here. So yeah, while the Planning Commission may not be in my near future, I'll still continue serving the city in other ways. And I also want to thank everyone back here for attending, especially my pregnant wife and daughter back there. I mean, I wish it could have been a better outcome, but they're here with me, so that's good enough. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. Council comments. Do we have council comments? Shauna?
Thank you. I wanted to speak briefly about Parks and Rec. I know that there have been a lot of comments about Sellers Park and the work that needs to be done there, so I wanted to remind people that there's still $30,000 earmarked for improvements to that park. Some of the other funding fell through to complete that project, but it is still on the to-do list. It hasn't been forgotten. But I also want to remind you that we, 2 years ago, did the $250,000 improvement to F. Park with the covered picnic area and the restrooms. And this past year, spent $126,000 on Ethel Lumsden Park, which was a huge project and a lot of work to be done. And so please don't think that we've forgotten about the historic village, because we've actually done quite a bit over there. And there are so many other parks in the community that also need attention. I know that Edmonds Village hasn't had any attention to their parks, and they're kind of next on the list. So don't think in any way that we're trying to ignore that park. We are working to try to resolve that issue, but some of the funding fell through, and so we have to look at alternative items. Second, I know Mr. Carg has left, but I have the utmost respect for Mr. Carg, and I think the world of him, so I really appreciate him being here tonight. I was going to offer my condolences, but I'm sure he's probably left for other reasons, so I just wanted to say how much I appreciated him being here.
Thank you. Mr. Gorski?
Yes, earlier this week I contacted City Administrator Tejada asking him to schedule an update on the Sequatchie Creek restoration. We have not had a meeting or an update that I'm aware of in nearly 2 years. I think we're overdue to hear from the stakeholders on the progress of Sequatchie Creek restoration. So look for that at a workshop sometime in the future. Nothing immediate, but we do need to get it on the agenda and keep that in our purview. I also had the opportunity to visit the community garden last week. We had a workshop where they celebrated the anniversary and basically sought the reapproval of this activity. It's worthwhile for those who haven't been or are considering it. I was with Intel Corporation when it was conceived and initiated originally as a activity benefit for the employees of Intel, but it soon spread into a community endeavor, and I was also part of the relocating of it to its current site of Power Line Road. So again, it's a worthwhile endeavor, and if you have any inclinations, check it out. If not, just to, they also mentioned that if you have home gardens at your homes and you overgrow certain vegetables and have no use, they will take them as donations and make sure they get to the food banks in Thurston and Lakewood, Thurston County and Lakewood. So that was that. The third point, and sorry I have four of them, thank you for everyone who provided their comments and their opinions on the council retreat. And there were, based on the people in attendance and the comments made, you would think that this was the most pressing issue in the city of DuPont, but it is not, and it's only a small fraction when you actually do the math of people who commented in the negative. The vast majority of the public, as always, remains silent. I do not look at silence as tacit approval, but I also do not seek a few comments to also represent the majority. And that is the challenge of being on the city council, is you represent all citizens, including the ones who don't attend the meetings, and also the ones that don't go onto Facebook for their updates. So you have to represent the entire good of the community and trust that these decisions are being in the best interest of all citizens. And lastly, to Mr. Barnard's point, any agency or commission that makes a recommendation on action, and it is the prerogative of the council to act upon their recommendation, it's not a mandate. In the case of the candidate that we did not second the motion, I'm sure everyone has a reason. And I think that, and part of that is the nature of what a commissioner does as a conduit to the public. And as such, I think that they have to be seen by all citizens, as I just mentioned, even the ones that don't come here if they have a casual interest or a new interest, that they're treated with dignity and respect, and that they can be assured that their comments will not be disseminated and broadcast in a wider forum. So there is some level of professionalism that I seek in all of our members and on any commission and council, and also I want to make sure that they are the appropriate conduit to the community at large. So there you have my reason.
Thank you. Any other council comments? Ms. Harris?
I'm sorry I talk so softly. I wanted to answer the good lady's request to comment back. As I was scribbling notes, I was smiling, I was not smirking, but when one hamster in my head is busy, my other hamster is probably running around looking for something else to do. So I'm sorry if you felt that I was smirking. I really was just smiling as people were talking. I was trying to write as fast as I could. So I-976 is developing in the state legislature. It is an issue that's being taken up by the Supreme Court. Decisions are coming down. I think I saw what the city of Orting did, that article that came out in the Seattle Times. I think Mayor Penner took a step for his city. I do think that the city of DuPont should, like the rest of the state, kind of wait on bated breath and let the legislature and the Supreme Court decide what they're going to decide and see how that filters down to our town of 9,000. I know that there was a $6 million hole in the transportation budget with the passing of I-976. But I do think our state lawmakers and our Supreme Court has the best interests of the citizens of Washington in mind, and they are working really hard to get through that. So I did hear that, and I want to comment back on that. I do have a wonderful idea for Jensen and McNeil. I do think that people speed. There are some teenagers in particular that I'm sure in this town go a little bit faster around that corner than they should. I think doing maybe a traffic study or an observation there is a great idea because that is a bus stop. And they're all smart kids there. And I'm well aware of the fact that the small kids don't always stay on the sidewalk. And we don't want any of our children to be at risk. So I don't know how that motion gets put forward to the police department to maybe take a greater look at that, but I second that. I think it's a great idea, and we'll put that forward. Anytime you guys have questions or concerns regarding public safety, please reach out to your city staff, your police chief. Make sure you write those emails and make those phone calls. A lot of times, a lot of us are at work during the day, so if you see something that needs further attention in greater detail, don't be afraid to write that email and speak out to one of us. That's what we're here for. I think the community garden is a beautiful addition to our city. Anybody that wants to participate in that, I came and gave a wonderful presentation. It is time to start buying those plots. They're also looking for ways to create revenue and funding so they can stay in DuPont and do what they do here, which is really important. So if you're interested in helping with that and keeping the community garden in DuPont, please meet up with them. They're awesome. They do great things for our food banks. I want to answer back, anytime you appoint a member to a commission or a committee, it's really important that when you commit these volunteers, that they conversate in a respectful manner, and we don't always have to agree. There can be civil discourse, and there is a way to create and generate ideas through disagreement, right? So I commend everybody who applies. I applied myself and I served on a committee and commission, and it's a tough job, and I just want to applaud the people that did apply. I myself can only speak for myself, but I am second the motion. And I think that the applicants we have are phenomenal, and I'd be happy to have those discussions with anybody that would like a deeper explanation, but I did not second the motion. I think that the three ladies that we have that we're appointing to the Parks Committee are absolutely sensational. I look forward to working with the Planning Commission, though I don't have hands-on with them. I do look forward to being more involved. And as far as the retreat, it was requested that we give 30 to 45 days for the retreat, when and where, and a cost estimation. I was not on the council when the last budget item was voted on and put into place, and I can't speak for the $20,000, where it would go, what it would be spent on, how it would be spent. But I do think that the council and the city staff wants to make it as transparent as possible. So when we get a budget and an agenda and we get these items set forth, I do believe that the staff will do what is in the best interest of the council and make sure you all are aware of that information. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out at any time. So I hope I've answered back all the questions that were presented to us. And thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Ms. Sarah. Mr. Brewer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First and foremost, to your question as far as accidents in that particular area. As one of the two members currently seated on the public safety committee, I'll gladly take that information forward. If you would like to email me at my city email address, I'll gladly find out some information for you and get that back to you. In regards to the question as far as volunteers and committees and commissions, I'd like to have a private conversation with that member tonight, if he would choose to have that with me. And then if you would like to share my comments with him, with the general public, he's more than welcome to do so, first and foremost. This is not, at times, a very easy job for us at the dais. I understand that you as citizens and us as citizens are not always going to get along. We're not always going to agree. And there's going to be times where we disagree. That's okay. At the end of the day, I have never once felt that my community did not support my family, did not support me in my endeavors, either it be on this dais, or whether that be in my professional endeavors, or whether that be in my many endeavors as a volunteer in this city, or to the veterans of our surrounding communities. So I thank all of you for that. So, that being said, if we don't answer your questions in a timely manner as you feel that we should, I ask and I implore that you reach out to us individually more. I've asked for that in many different ways.
And those ways haven't always been graciously accepted by the greater Facebook medium. As such, I have withdrawn mostly from Facebook, as many of you have noticed. I don't want to have public discourse on Facebook. I want to meet with, converse with, and solve issues with my fellow citizens in DuPont. I will meet you anytime. I will meet you anywhere, with the exception of Monday afternoons, because those are Boy Scout meetings and those are sacred to the fellow Scouts who also understand that. So, Mr. Genova, if you'd like to have a discussion with me, I will wait until the end of this evening. I'll wait afterwards. Or if you'd like to reach out to me, sir, you know how to get a hold of me. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Gasak.
Thank you. I just wanted to address Susan Bungert. You are welcome to come to our public safety meeting and bring that up in public comment if you'd like. It's a very casual setting, so we do allow the public to speak. I thank you, Lou, for mentioning that I was going to speak anyway. I know that she had to leave a little early, but you're welcome to email us, Leo, or the police department. We can definitely check into that. I know that in the past, when there has been an area of concern, they definitely step forward and pay attention to it, and they will gladly monitor that for you. So thank you for bringing it to their attention.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gasak. Mr. Ballard.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to congratulate the Deputy Mayor being appointed this evening, as well as the new members of the various commissions and agencies. This week has been very stressful for this newly elected member of the council, and basically because dealing with public sentiment in social media is it's a difficult thing, primarily because there's risk involved in interacting with the public on social media that doesn't exist when you interact with them via official email channels when you create a public record. So also we're dealing with some anonymous people at times who do not have the personal accountability that those of you that wrote to me and spoke your position on the council agenda. I respect you completely, and thank you very much for that. As to the appointment of persons on councils and agencies, I just want to say that for me it's a personnel type related issue, and I would never discuss something like that to the general public. But like the Deputy Mayor stated, I would be more than willing to speak with Mr. Genova personally as to my feelings regarding his appointment or non-appointment to a planning agency or commission. So that's really what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mallard. Any additional comments? Seeing none, guess what, folks? We're adjourned.